Hello and welcome to ecoAmerica's 6th Annual American Climate Leadership Awards.
Thank you so much for joining us today as we celebrate bold leadership and innovative solutions driving real climate progress in local communities nationwide.
I'm Meighen Speiser, Executive Director of ecoAmerica, and this is our founder, Bob Perkowitz. ecoAmerica started the American Climate Leadership Awards to spotlight successful and replicable climate action by Americans nationwide. And there's been so much progress on climate over the past few years.
But current federal actions to undo decades of progress on clean air, water, and energy amidst record-breaking heat, fire, and storms make the stakes for climate action more important than ever. But here's the thing, even with these challenges, we can move solutions forward with speed and scale.
Today, we're shining a spotlight on the incredible individuals and organizations leading the way. Our finalists are engaging diverse communities nationwide. This includes rural and urban residents, people from Black, Brown, and Indigenous communities, faith leaders, youth, and more, all who are working on climate action, resilience, advocacy, and justice, and moving it forward. They are young leaders, seasoned change makers, and everyday people who refuse to wait for top-down solutions. And at a time when federal action is stalled, their work at the local level is driving real change where it is needed most.
In companies, schools, and communities across America, they are helping people stand up for our climate, for our democracy, and for our shared future. Their work is making a difference now and creating blueprints for others to follow.
So whether in local neighborhoods or on the national stage, our finalists are proving that real solutions exist and that people want to be invited into climate action.
So we all need to start where we are, use what we have, and do what we can. Together we can build a healthier, more just, and sustainable future.
So let's get this celebration started. Please join us in welcoming our co-hosts, award-winning news anchor and director of Planeta Tierra at Telemundo News Network, Vanessa Hauc, and former White House Environmental Justice Advisory Council member, Jerome Foster II. Vanessa and Jerome, over to you.
Hello, everyone, and welcome. I'm Vanessa Hauc.
I'm Jerome Foster II.
And we are so excited to be here today. We can't wait to share with you the finalists. These individuals and organizations are putting their hearts and souls into solving climate change. But first, we want to recognize ecoAmerica team and supporters who have made these awards happen. And also, we want to acknowledge the outstanding selection committee members who had the exciting and challenging job of selecting the finalist, runner-up, and winner. Thank you.
ecoAmerica's work to mobilize Americans for climate action is crucial and effective. Through networks of health, faith, and local community partners, ecoAmerica is engaging millions of everyday Americans who are concerned about climate change and want to make a difference in their everyday lives just like you. If you're interested in taking action and want to take your leadership to the next level, ecoAmerica offers climate ambassador training to equip passionate individuals with the knowledge, skills, and confidence to speak effectively to propel climate progress in their communities. Join over 6,000 people nationwide who have taken one of ecoAmerica's free 3-hour trainings. Whether you're a health professional, a person of faith, or a concerned local citizen, then join the network of thousands of leaders inspiring action. Learn more about the Climate Ambassador Training at ecoAmerica.org/ambassadors. There is so much we can do and need to do to act on climate solutions, and we can do it together. We can invite family, friends, colleagues, congregants, and your community to do what they can, when they can, for our climate. The American Climate Leadership Award finalists are showing us just how to do that.
And that's why we host the American Climate Leadership Awards, to recognize the outstanding work of individuals and organizations across the country who are broadening participation in climate action. These awards highlight how each of us can be part of the solution, no matter where we live or the challenges we face. In my role at Telemundo, I witnessed firsthand how climate change is reshaping our planet, from pollution to extreme weather to environmental injustice. These challenges aren't just global headlines, they are daily realities in our communities. And while the impacts reach everyone, they are disproportionately affecting our neighbors in underserved areas. But there is good news. Over the past years, we have seen momentum on solutions. People, organizations, and communities are stepping up to take meaningful action. The American Climate Leadership Awards celebrates these change makers. Our 10 finalists represent bold, effective, and scalable models of climate engagements, especially at the local levels. They remind us that we have a role to play in building a healthier, more just, and sustainable future.
The selection committee rated each of the semifinalists on key criteria to determine the 10 finalists for the 2025 America Climate Leadership Awards. The criteria included effectiveness, replicability, innovation, and whether and how the effort was broadening participation beyond the current climate movement. Each of these finalists will receive a trophy in recognition to showcase their climate work, and they will also receive $10,000. Here are our 10 outstanding finalists in alphabetical order. Britt Wray, Circle of Stanford Psychiatry.
Change is simple.
City of Savannah.
Climate Generation.
Denver Public Schools.
Janice Evans Hawkins, Old Dominion University.
New Hampshire Healthy Climate.
Smiley Audio Media.
St. Peter's Episcopal Church, Fernandina Beach, Florida.
The University of California Center for Climate, Health, and Equity. And now, let's learn a little more about each of the 10 finalists from the finalists themselves.
Hi there, I'm Dr. Britt Wray, and I'm a researcher and science communicator working at the Nexus of Climate Change and Mental Health. As the director of Circle at Stanford Psychiatry, my research focuses on the co-design of climate anxiety interventions with young people that can alleviate distress and promote psychological resilience that co-benefits climate action. I'm currently working on one with youth-facing mental health care systems in the US, Canada, and Australia that's poised to reach about 300,000 young people a year. I also founded a nonprofit called Unthinkable, which is on a mission to build the field of climate mental health practice in America. And I work on climate distress because I've experienced significant amounts of it myself, and I have compassion for anyone else who's feeling this. I wrote a book called Generation Dread about how we can live well and meaningfully with climate anxiety, and that spawned a newsletter about how to stay sane in the climate crisis that supports readers from over 180 countries. So it all started with storytelling, lived experience, and passion, and those three things remain at the heart of my work.
What if the next generation could solve the climate crisis? At Change is Simple, we are making that happen. We started in one classroom in 2011 with a simple idea: make environmental education engaging, relevant, and accessible. Today, we bring dynamic, STEM-based climate education to over 8,000 students in the Boston area every year. And we're still growing, adding new school partnerships every school year. Unlike traditional programs, we don't just teach about nature. We connect daily choices to global environmental challenges. Through hands-on activities that promote empathy, foster critical thinking, and instill hope, students discover how their actions impact the planet and how they can create change. We focus on equity, bringing climate education directly into schools, especially in under-resourced communities, at no cost to students. By integrating sustainability directly into the school day, we ensure every student has access to this critical knowledge. From one classroom to thousands, Change is Simple is empowering the next generation of scientists and changemakers, because a sustainable future starts with them.
Hey there, everybody. I'm Alderman Nick Palumbo from the City of Savannah, and I am proud to share how the 100% Savannah initiative is transforming our community, being replicated statewide, and we're ready to take it across the nation. 100% Savannah we launched as an initiative at zero cost to the taxpayers and actually saves our city money by leasing rooftop solar all across 19 city facilities here in the City of Savannah, propelling us to become the largest provider of municipal solar energy in the entire state. But it's not just about making it here. We use that formula to propel Georgia Bright, bringing it statewide for this formula so that communities and bringing it accessible solar energy statewide to neighborhoods just like yours. Savannah rests on the very front line of climate change, with sunny day flooding impacting our neighborhoods and our streets and our communities. So we hope that you'll honor us with this selection and choose us as the champion for 2025 for the ecoAmerica Awards.
Hi, I'm Danielle Heffron.
Hi, I'm Seth Spencer. For the last 20 years, Climate Generations Teach Climate Network has provided more than 8,500 educators across North America with quality climate change education, professional development, and free curriculum. Our programming has reached over 1 million students by building educators' capacity to confidently teach climate.
We develop diverse place-based partnerships to center local climate impacts and solutions relevant to educators and students. We encourage educator leadership in our programming and provide opportunities to craft curriculum and connect with one another in regional and state-based community of practice fellowships.
Our Teach Climate Network Summer Institute is built by and for educators, created collaboratively with 23 regional cohort partners, and provides the inspiration and community necessary for educators to become change makers. We know climate change education is a climate solution.
Thank you so much for supporting this work.
Thank you for supporting our work.
Hi, my name is Leanne Kittle, and I am the Executive Director of Sustainability for Denver Public Schools. At DPS, sustainability isn't just a concept, it's a commitment. Our DPS Climate Action Plan is transforming how we educate, operate, and lead in the fight against climate change. We're broadening participation by engaging students, staff, and the community, because solving the climate crisis takes all of us. From student-driven sustainability initiatives to district-wide policy changes, we are empowering the next generation of climate leaders.
You are the leaders in this climate movement.
And we're making an impact. DPS has reduced its school bus emissions, increased renewable energy use through solar canopies, which with the excess energy will provide energy credits for our families to use, and implement waste reduction programs across our schools. But this is just the beginning. Together, we're building a sustainable future, one school, one action, and one student at a time.
My name is Janice Hawkins, and I'm honored to be a semifinalist for the American Climate Leadership Awards. My work as a climate activist and educator mobilizes the nursing workforce for climate change advocacy. I equip nurses with strategies, knowledge, skills, and resources to mitigate climate change. As a former liaison to the United Nations for Sigma Nursing and an ICN certified global nurse consultant, I influence and reach nurses globally and inspire actions such as championing healthcare, carbon emission reduction, advocating for climate-friendly legislation, and leading community initiatives. I was recognized by the United Nations Foundation and Center for Sustainable Development at the Brookings Institute as an influential change maker for making progress towards the SDGs. Nurses are on the front lines of healthcare with firsthand knowledge of the negative impacts of climate change. We're a powerful, trusted voice for change. I'm proud to be a voice for nursing.
We agree with the American Academy of Pediatrics that children's health is especially vulnerable to climate change and that they are already suffering the consequences. Our team aligned with the Academy and created a toolkit for all Dartmouth Health general pediatric practices to support incorporating climate counseling into their practice. With access to our resources, clinicians reported increased confidence in counseling. Also, a pre-visit screening questionnaire includes questions about parents' concerns about how climate change affects their children's health. Parents' responses create the physician's agenda for their child's well-care visit. It also auto-populates an after-visit educational handout related to their question. We plan on expanding this project to include volunteer practices throughout New England, and we envision extending the project to all New Hampshire K-12 school nurses.
Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. said that our lives begin to end the day we become silent about the things that matter. On the 2024 MLK holiday, Smiley Audio Media's flagship radio station, KBLA Talk 1580, launched its historic Climate is King campaign, unapologetically targeting the disproportionate victims of climate change, people of color, and the poor. Our $2 million 12-month campaign featured local community events, including cooling fan giveaways to seniors and neighborhood cleanups, climate messaging messaging on billboards, buses, and bus shelters, a web portal, live radio interviews with experts, and a national town hall on C-SPAN. Our climate campaign generated more than 470 million impressions. Internally, we work with IQ Air North America to become a clean air facility and replace plastic water bottles with a pure water technology system. Caring about the climate, caring about the community, changing the conversation. We're KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm Sarah Flint, the Creation Care Fellow at St. Peter's Episcopal Church, where we seek to inspire people to live into our biblical mandate to care for God's creation. In 2025, through parish activities and community partnerships, we will continue to provide public educational and service opportunities several times per month. In addition, we have 3 big initiatives. First, we will develop a campus-wide sustainability plan to continue reducing our carbon footprint. Second, through leadership in our grassroots extreme weather coalition, we will work with community partners to open our city's first cooling center to protect vulnerable citizens from extreme heat. And finally, as a gift to our city, we have big plans to transform this neglected plot into a beautiful Florida-friendly meditation garden. We will provide a gathering space in this outdoor sanctuary, as well as multisensory elements and a long-term plan for accessibility so that everyone may connect with nature in this revitalized space.
Climate change is a health crisis. At the University of California Center for Climate, Health, and Equity, we are working to drive transformative shifts in healthcare, education, community resilience, and sustainability. Using machine learning, we created vulnerability profiles to identify at-risk populations across California, empowering policymakers and communities to take action. We've trained over 100 faculty to teach climate and health, reached over 10,000 students across all 10 UC campuses, and provided climate education to over 300,000 healthcare providers nationwide. We are leading the charge to decarbonize healthcare by launching the nation's first clinical decarbonization fellowship and advocating for sustainable healthcare policies from California to Capitol Hill. We are pioneering research and programs to build community and health system resilience to the health impacts of climate change. Our impact is local, national, and global. The time for action is now.
Before we announce our runner-up and winner, we want to recognize young people stepping up in remarkable ways to drive climate solutions in their communities and beyond. This year, the Youth Climate Leadership Award winner will receive $10,000, and the finalists each receive $5,000 for their outstanding contributions to climate action. Congratulations to the youth finalists Alexia Leclercq, Caroline He, Project Green Schools,
Silicon Valley Youth Climate Action,
Bay Area Youth Climate Summit,
Pencil to Planet,
Prairie Restoration Crew School, St. Mark's School of Texas,
SEI Climate Corps,
Golda Oak Academy, chapter of the Jewish Youth Climate Movement,
Siddhan Shah Tri-Valley Youth Climate Action Project. And now, let's learn a little more about each of the 10 finalists from the finalists themselves.
Hello, my name is Alexia Leclercq, and I'm the co-founder and executive director of Start Empowerment. Start Empowerment is a BIPOC and youth-led nonprofit at the nexus of climate education, solutions, and environmental justice. With programming across Turtle Island, we offer high-quality, justice-centric climate education that blends STEM, art, and traditional ecological knowledge. Our mission is to empower youth of color to imagine and build a just and sustainable future. So far, our curriculum has been implemented in 24 schools, reaching over 5,000 students in Texas, New York, Nevada, California, New Jersey, and so much more. And our curriculum has directly led to improved learning outcomes, student leadership development, and community development. Some of our students are working on cool projects, from designing sustainable urban agricultural systems to passing water policy to increase access to clean water, divesting over 6,000 pounds of food waste, and successfully shutting down an oil terminal and the North Brooklyn pipeline. Our mission is really to empower youth and make sure that all youth, especially those directly impacted, have access to climate justice education and green job pathways.
I'm Carolyn and I'm proud to serve as co-president of Project Green School's National Youth Council, a collective educational space that strengthens and broadens student participation in eco-advocacy. We give council members a seat at the table, at the UN, Climate Week, or Department of Energy, to create a feedback loop between green leaders and us, the future ones. As co-president, I've expanded our monthly meetings to include eco-leader interviews, policy forums, workshops, and sustainability committees, engaging over 150 students. Our mission this year is to recruit at least one student from every state and hold an in-person youth summit through new partnerships with 4-H and EarthX. This year, my co-president and I developed sustainability committees, which each research a key sustainability issue within schools and work together to develop practical, impactful solutions to be implemented in 6,500 plus member schools. Because arguably, our National Youth Council derives the most impact from collective efforts. As co-president, what's most fulfilling beyond that is knowing local impact inspires others nationally. Dia protects prairies, Sophie fights eco-anxiety, and me, I help others make the biggest impact together.
SBYCA is a youth-led nonprofit empowering youth to combat climate change through policy, education initiatives, advocacy, and exposure to green career pathways.
We collaborate with elected representatives to advocate for policies such as building electrification reach codes and nature-based solutions by public commenting at local legislative meetings and hosting open, nonpartisan climate candidate forums. At the state and international levels, we push for over 40 bills and annually sent representatives to COP.
In 2023, our students established the FUHSD Climate Collective of students, staff, and board members addressing district-wide sustainability. Our 2024 climate literacy video reached over 5,000 students. From library workshops to partnering with county education departments, our initiatives spread environmental awareness to thousands.
We expand our reach across the Bay Area. With our annual Youth Leadership Summits, Green Career Bus Tours, and upcoming Youth Leadership Academy, we continue to inspire the next generation of climate leaders.
Hi there. The Bay Area Youth Climate Summit is an organization run by young people for young people. We work at the intersection of education, advocacy, and on-the-ground grassroots organizing. We bring youth and educators together through workshops on topics from upcycling to local policy change and raising the voting age. We believe that in order to achieve the climate solutions that we need in our society, we need to put power back into the hands of people. This starts with investing in our schools, our community, and our infrastructure. So far, we've engaged over 9,000 Bay Area high schoolers and 230 high schools. This is just the start, but we are representing a movement. We believe that place-based organizing has the power to go global. Our issues are bound to issues around the globe, and we are ready to get to work.
Hi, I'm Gavin.
I'm Noelle.
I'm Maya.
I'm Alba.
I'm Phoebe.
And we are Pencil to Planet. We tackle zero waste and environmental literacy in schools through composting, recycled art, and youth engagement.
Our composting program engages 1,800 students and we're expanding district-wide.
Our environmental art curriculum has reached 200 plus students at Las Virgenes Unified School District, turning waste into creativity.
Every month, we host free environmental art classes for underprivileged youth, working to make climate activism accessible to everyone.
We partner with schools, waste management, the Guadalupe Center, and local leaders to grow our impact.
Small actions,
big change.
Now we are seeking your help to further our environmental activism.
Join us in creating a sustainable future.
Thank you for your consideration.
Hi, my name is Nathan Tan, and I'm a 15-year-old high school student at the St. Mark's School of Texas. I'm representing the Prairie Restoration Crew.
Our mission is to revive Texas grasslands through the restoration of indigenous plants. We restore ecosystems while engaging with our community and increasing education. It all starts with seed collection. We carefully identify, harvest, and store native seeds, and we broaden participation through social media, inviting individuals to join our process. After seed collection, we cultivate the plants in our school's greenhouse. Working with our student body, we turn our school into a hub for hands-on conservation. And once the plants are ready, we take them to prairies, rebuilding those native ecosystems. This is where we can have the largest impact. And so far, we've restored thousands of native plants while partnering with local nonprofits to organize events. And that's the Prairie Restoration Crew.
Hello, I'm Elizabeth Bushnell. I'm a Climate Corps AmeriCorps Fellow, and I've been serving at the Energy Coalition in San Diego.
Hello, my name is Nicole Shimizu. I'm the Energy and Sustainability Fellow for Contra Costa County.
Hi, my name is Noah Cordoba. I'm a Climate Corps Fellow with East Bay Community Energy. At EBCE, I support our energy efficiency programs and help manage a number of our building electrification and decarbonization programs.
As the Community Outreach Fellow for Silicon Valley Clean Energy, one of my main priorities for the year has been leading the development of a new youth climate film competition in which we have invited high school students to share their stories and solutions about climate resilience.
Last year at this time, I was just moving to California trying to get my bearings, and now a year later, I've been hired at my host site Octerra as a senior manager.
Hi, my name is Joanna. I'm a Climate Corps Fellow for North Kitsap School District up in Paulsville, Washington.
Hi, we're Golda Academy's Climate Activism Club. Through our parent organization, JYCM, we've been working to implement a climate action plan to make GOA a more sustainable environment. We've been doing a food waste audit to see how GOA can best reduce the amount of food wasted. Spurred on by the climate action plan, GOA has committed to installing solar panels by 2030. During school-wide Friday morning meetings, we showcase climate issues and events. We're also working to add more environmental education to all parts of our curriculum. Our goal is to make action towards climate justice a defining feature of what it means to be Jewish and empower the next generation to be leaders and fight for a more sustainable world. Any funds we receive would further the support of the implementation of our climate action plan and supplement our budget for future action events. Thank you for your consideration.
Hello, my name is Sid Shah, and I'm with Quest Tri-Valley Youth Climate Action Project. Through this project, my goal is to empower my community to create environmental change through urban heat island initiatives. For instance, we taught over 25,000 local residents about climate change through environmental events such as the Youth Climate Summit as well as the Climate Expo. I've also built an app that's used by over 300 high school students to identify urban heat islands in their local communities. For instance, the urban heat island in Livermore impacts over 80,000 residents and has temperatures 14 degrees higher than the surrounding baseline. I've also found arsenic in California's groundwater that impacts over 4 million California residents through 1,300 Californian water districts. Lastly, I created an environmental course that is used by 2.5 million students across 3,500 schools. I've also gained support from various organizations such as the U.S.'s Department of Energy, UC Berkeley, the Lawrence Livermore and Lawrence Berkeley National Labs. Since applying to ACLA, I've been working with NASA Ames scientists to map methane in my community, and I've launched my Urban Heat Island app. With ACLA support, I'm excited to empower communities and youth everywhere to combat urban heat islands and spark environmental change. Thank you.
And now, our 2025 Youth Climate Leadership Award winner, receiving $10,000 for their exceptional impact. Congratulations to Alexia Leclercq.
I am so honored to be receiving this award for my work with Start Empowerment. We're a climate justice education organization focused on equipping youth of color with the tools, skills, and resources to be organizers and climate leaders. I want to start off by shouting out my amazing co-founder, Kier, and our core team, Alicia, G, Kiana, Noe, and Destiny, because movement work is inherently collective. That is the only way to build people power. It's hundreds of people coming together, and often those most impacted to create change. And it has been years of hustling to get here. This award comes at a time when we are seeing continuous rise in the gutting of public schools, book bans, human rights violation, and massive environmental deregulation and the defunding of environmental justice work. It is so critical now more than ever that we double down on our support for climate justice education and climate work. Because climate justice is everything. It is survival, it's decolonization,
It's ending poverty, ending wars, it's human rights, it's the reimagining of everything. It's rejecting their versions of the past, present, and future, and reclaiming our wisdom, our land, culture, spirituality, joy, hope. It's honoring our ancestors, our aliveness, our future generations, and the spirit of everything around us, because it is us. And we owe it to ourselves, our communities, and our future generations to keep fighting. Lastly, I want to end on a poem by Fadwa Tuqan. My sister, our land has a throbbing heart. It doesn't cease to beat and endures the endurable. It keeps the secrets of hills and wombs. This land sprouting with spikes and palm is also the land that gives birth to a freedom fighter. This land, my sister, is a woman. And I hope that you are reminded that where there is oppression, there will always be resistance, and may we keep fighting for climate justice.
How inspiring. The work of these young climate leaders is nothing short of remarkable. Their dedication to driving real change, and what an amazing pool of finalists all across these categories. Thank you for all the important work you all are doing in your commitment to climate action. And that brings us to the next part of our program, recognizing our American Climate Leadership Award finalists.
It's now time to announce the American Climate Leadership Award runner-up and winner. The runner-up will receive a total of $25,000, and the winner will receive a total of $50,000. Now, I'm pleased to announce that the 2025 American Climate Leadership Award runner-up, receiving $25,000, is Britt Wray. Congratulations.
This is an incredible honor, and I would like to send an enormous thank you to the judges and ecoAmerica for shining this light on my climate work, which aims to help build the emerging field of climate-aware mental health care and research in America and around the world. At a time when power holders are actively undoing hard-fought-for climate policies today that will deliberately create more collective trauma and pain in the future, it could not mean more to me to be recognized in this way. And as many feminists have said before, the personal is political. And that's an accurate frame to explain how I became a climate professional. A number of years ago, I was wrestling with ambivalence over whether to try to get pregnant while taking in all kinds of scary reports and books warning of climate breakdown and unprecedented geopolitical strife in the coming decades if we don't manage to rapidly change everything about the fossil fuel-dependent systems that we're living in, which frankly terrified me about how the climate crisis might harm any child that I could have as they grow up. Noticing the lack of adequate climate action at the highest levels, alongside relative silence amongst everyday folks about how we might band together to address the immense dangers that we now face, I felt so much distress that it was starting to affect my relationships. And I didn't know it at first, but I was suffering from impairing climate anxiety and grief. I soon learned why it was important to respect the distress that I was feeling, because we should not be okay with the way that things are. Climate anxiety is not a mental disorder, after all. It's an expression of compassion for all that's in harm's way, and it's rational to feel some distress when one understands the facts. Multiple studies have found that climate anxiety has adaptive qualities and is strongly associated with climate action. But back then, to manage my fears, I did research for a book I wrote about the rise of climate anxiety and how to cope with it, called Generation Dread. And what I learned from that project has been massively healing and also motivating, and it launched me into a new career in the emerging field of climate mental health, since I discovered that there is so much we can do to protect and promote mental health and well-being in our warming world in ways that co-benefit climate action. I now run a research program focused on climate change and mental health at Stanford University, and am building the world's largest climate distress resource hub at unthinkable.earth to provide people with personalized supports. The impact my work is having is only possible because of many wonderful colleagues and mentors, including my team at Circle at Stanford Psychiatry, with special thanks to Kyle McKinley and Drs. Safer, Carrion, and Roberts, the team at Unthinkable, Small Change Fund, and the Raffi Foundation for Child Honoring, and especially Ray Dial, who helps me spin all the plates. My Gen Dread Substack newsletter community, my research collaborators, and my climate psychology fairy godmother, Caroline Hickman, who has taught me so much. To close, I'd just like to say that compassion and social connection are central for responding skillfully in these unthinkable times. So here's to all of us fostering more of those things. Thank you.
Thank you, Britt, and everyone involved for your fantastic work. Congratulations. And now, the moment everyone has been waiting for, the announcement of the winner of this year's awards. The 2025 American Climate Leadership Award winner receiving $50,000, and the top recognition is Change is Simple. Congratulations to Lauren Belmonte from Change is Simple.
Thank you so much to ecoAmerica for considering Change is Simple for this incredible honor. It's truly humbling to stand alongside all of these amazing climate leaders. You all inspire me, and the work that we're doing has never been more critical. As we look around the world right now, it's easy to feel a little overwhelmed by the scale of the challenges we face, but there's so much we can do together. We need to inspire those around us, especially our youth, to protect this incredible planet we're so fortunate to share. I want to share a piece of my story in hopes that it sparks something in others, because I truly believe that if you feel passionate about an issue that serves the greater good, then you should go after it. My name is Lauren Belmonte, and I'm the co-founder of Change is Simple. I grew up in a household where money was tight and being resourceful was a necessity. My parents always told me that I could do anything I set my mind to. From a very young age, I was drawn to environmental and humanitarian issues. In fact, I recently found a picture of me in the 2nd grade wearing an Earth Day t-shirt that I made with puff paints. Along the way, I was fortunate to have incredible mentors like Ms. Poor, my 5th grade teacher, who helped foster a spark within me. I followed that spark into college, pursuing a degree in environmental science. After college, I worked for environmental firms, even the Department of Defense, but something was missing. That's when my husband, Patrick, encouraged me to step way outside my comfort zone and start speaking to kids in public schools in the city I grew up in. Soon, we were bringing hands-on, fun climate lessons to students, and we saw how empowering it was for them. We knew this was something we had to pursue. So without any funding or a clear path forward, we took a leap of faith. We quit our jobs, moved out of our home, and started Change is Simple. Our mission was simple but profound: inspire children to become change makers and stand up for what they believe in. Over the last 14 years, Change is Simple has reached over 60,000 students from kindergarten to college. These students are the leaders that we need. They understand the importance of working together for a sustainable and just future. They will innovate, they will inspire millions more. I am grateful for our team, our incredibly passionate staff, board, donors, and advisors. Without you, Change is Simple simply would not exist. Thank you to my husband, Patrick, for being my partner every step and misstep of this journey. And thank you again so much to ecoAmerica and to all of the incredible nominees for being an inspiration to so many people around the world. Keep pushing ahead, keep inspiring. We need every single person, every single voice to work together to build a more sustainable world. As Ralph Waldo Emerson said, the creation of 1,000 forests is in one acorn. Thank you.
Congratulations to Change is Simple. I also want to thank the extended ecoAmerica team and our supporters who make these awards possible. It's a lot of work finding, highlighting, and rewarding all these wonderful folks who earn the awards, but it's a pleasure going through it all with you. And let me add my thanks to the finalists, semifinalists, and all the entrants to the 2025 American Climate Leadership Awards. I had the opportunity to read the applications. It's heartwarming to see so many people working so hard to do so much good. Our 2025 winners, Lauren Belmonte and Change is Simple, Britt, Wray, and Alexia Leclercq, and all our finalists are fantastic examples of making a difference, things we all can do. Visit ecoamerica.org to get started. We're at a turning point now, and their work is at the tip of the proverbial spear. We all need to be more effective now than ever. Amongst it all, some of us have been truly exceptional in their work for climate solutions. Years of sustained, effective effort that brings us together and moves America forward. Each year, we present a special Climate Honors Award to one of these individuals, and for 2025, we're honoring the Reverend Dr. Gerald Durley. There's so much to say about Reverend Durley. He's done so much. A Peace Corps volunteer, master's degree in community mental health, another in divinity, a doctorate degree in urban education and psychology, pastor of Providence Baptist Church in Atlanta, dean at Clark Atlanta University. The common thread, Reverend Durley, has been first a champion of civil rights, our rights. He began this work at the age of 18, advocating alongside John Lewis and Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King. In 1963, he led a group of students at the March on Washington, where Dr. King delivered his iconic "I Have a Dream" speech. Reverend Durley has never slowed down since. His insights into civil rights led him to human rights and ecological rights. He understood before most of us that the fight for a livable climate is a fight for human dignity, equity, and our shared future. Reverend Durley understands that climate change, global warming, and environmental justice are moral imperatives for all of us, and he has never wavered in his commitment to building a more just world. His leadership has transformed communities, inspired activists, and shaped national conversations about the moral imperative of climate action. For his unwavering dedication to justice, his deep commitment to faith-driven advocacy, and his tireless work in mobilizing communities towards solutions, it is my pleasure and honor to present ecoAmerica's Climate Honor Award to my good friend, Reverend Dr. Gerald Durley. Thank you, Gerald.
Thank you, Bob, and thank you, ecoAmerica, for this honor. I'm humbled to receive the Climate Honor Award and to stand alongside so many inspiring leaders and change makers who make working tirelessly to address the greatest moral, spiritual, and existential challenge of our time. For me, the fight for climate solutions is not just about policies or technologies. Although they are vital, it is about people. It is about justice. It is about ensuring that the least among us who bear the greatest burden of a changing climate are uplifted and protected. It is about answering the call to stewardship that is rooted in our values and our shared humanity. As a pastor and a civil rights leader, I've walked many roads, stood in many pulpits, and held many hands in prayer. But the urgency of this moment calls us to go beyond the pews, beyond our comfort zones. The climate crisis is not only an environmental issue, it is a profound moral issue. It is a test of our compassion and our commitment to one another. I've seen over the years firsthand the power of communities coming together, leaders, youth activists, scientists, and everyday people just to demand change and to be the change. I've been blessed to witness the resilience, the creativity, and the unswerving determination of those who refuse to be silent in the face of this crisis. And I'm reminded every day that, as Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. said, the arc of moral universe is long, but it bends toward justice. But friends, it only bends if we pull together, all of us together. That is why ecoAmerica's work resonates so deeply with me by empowering trusted institutions, health, faith, civic organizations. ecoAmerica ensures that the voices of millions are heard, that action is taken, and that solutions are within our reach, all of our reach. Their programs and resources provide a roadmap for a better, more equitable future. I'm profoundly grateful to be a part of this journey. To my fellow honorees, finalists, and all who dedicate their lives to this cause, your efforts light the way. You remind us that we are not alone in this fight, and together we can transform despair into hope and hope into action. I will cherish this award, not as a symbol of what I've done, but as a charge to keep, to continue speaking out, mobilizing communities, and fighting for a thriving, just, and sustainable world for generations to come. Let us remember that the work ahead will not be easy, but it is sacred and it is necessary. Thank you, ecoAmerica, for your leadership and for lifting up the work of so many. And thank you all for being a part of this movement. Together we can make a difference, and we will make a difference. And remember this, we're on the winning team.
Thank you, Reverend Durley, and congratulations. Kudos to our youth category winner, Alexia Leclercq, runner-up, Wray, and our winner, Change is Simple. And thanks to all of you who joined today's award ceremony in support. It's a great pleasure working alongside you in so many different ways to bring about just and equitable climate solutions.
Thank you, Vanessa. And good news, ecoAmerica will host the American Climate Leadership Awards again in 2026 for the 7th year. As before, we want to recognize and reward exceptional climate action. We'll be offering over $200,000 in awards, details to follow soon. So subscribe to ecoAmerica's newsletter and follow us on social media for more information and updates.
So from ecoAmerica and our supporters, thank you all very much again for joining in all you do. We look forward to working with you to move America forward on climate solutions. Let's have at it.